Hey everyone, welcome back to another week of A Battle to End Alzheimer's. And this week, Sanjeev is going to share the relationship between sleep and Alzheimer's.
Yeah, there was a great study that just came out last week in BMC Medicine by Zofia Zavec, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, on May the 3rd, and basically looking at the impact of deep sleep and Alzheimer's. They did an interesting study which showed that deep sleep actually improves the learning in people who have high amyloid deposits in their brain.
Amyloid, again, is, for those who don't know, is a protein, right?
Yeah, it's a type of protein that seems to be building up in people with Alzheimer's disease. The other hallmark is tau tangles.
Right, we talked about
so those
that
are
before.
the two main kind of pathologic, signs of
Alzheimer's.
Yeah,
Okay.
seen on autopsy.
So how does one get to deep sleep? How does that happen?
Let's do a little bit of a
study?
Okay. Let's just talk a little bit about sleep. So
sure.
Basically, what happens is that throughout the night, you kind of rotate. You go in a cycle between what we call light sleep. Okay. And then you move down into deep sleep slowly, and then you move into REM. So there's this kind of cycle of people moving between these three different stages of sleep. If not, there's actually four, but basically they cycle through these stages of sleep.
Okay.
And it happens, every from beginning of about 90 minutes
to get to REM. The average person will require 90 minutes.
Usually it's a 90-minute cycle that could go up to 2 hours. As time goes on, that cycle becomes shorter.
Okay.
As time goes on.
Oh, like as we age.
As throughout the night.
Oh, throughout the night.
So what happens is that the starting part of the night is generally more deep sleep.
Okay.
You spend more time in deep sleep, and at the end of the night, in the early part of the morning, you're spending more time in REM sleep. So that's they both serve very critical functions for our brain.
Okay.
But it looks like deep sleep has a particularly important benefit for helping people with Alzheimer's or early Alzheimer's.
Why? Like, how did they determine that? Like, did they study? It's just curious. Yeah. I'm curious to know how does that even happen? How do you discover this?
So basically, what they did was they looked at 62 people.
Okay.
Elderly people, and what they did was they measured their amyloid amount in their brain using a PET scan.
Okay.
Okay. So they basically add this amyloid beta. So either some people were amyloid beta positive, and some people were amyloid beta negative, meaning that some people had high levels of amyloid beta, and some people had low levels of amyloid beta.
What level of amyloid is best for improving Alzheimer's?
Oh no. So amyloid is bad.
Okay, it's all bad. Okay, it's bad.
There's generally no good level of amyloid beta in your brain.
It's the presence of amyloid that's
a sign.
Causes, or it's a sign of Alzheimer's.
We don't exactly know if it's causal, but it seems to be causal. But so let's just say that they basically divided these 62 people and find out some of them had high levels, some of them had low levels, and then they monitored their sleep.
Okay.
And they saw how many people had what we call non-REM, which is deep sleep, slow wave activity.
Okay.
So that's what they're looking at. They're looking at the deep sleep. How many people had deep sleep?
Okay.
And then they basically the next morning, they made them do a test to match.
Like a cognitive test.
A cognitive test. Yeah. And here they did what they call face pair matching. So they had to basically look at I think 120 faces and be able to match the names.
Okay.
To them, and what they found was that the people who had deep sleep and they had high amyloid, their function, they were actually able to do better.
They scored better in the test results as a result of having had better sleep or deep sleep.
Yeah, compared to the people who had less deep sleep and were amyloid positive. So the benefit was only there in the people with high amyloid beta.
Right. So that means if you have high amyloid, you have Alzheimer's. Is it you have Alzheimer's or something like that?
Yeah. We think that's a kind of a proxy for Alzheimer's, but all of these people didn't have they all scored over 25 on the mini mental status exam. So
so more than the other people who didn't get sleep.
They were no. I'm saying in general.
Okay.
Of all the people, these people did not have frank Alzheimer's disease.
Okay.
But the people who had high amyloid deposits and who slept better did better than the people who had high amyloid and
didn't
sleep.
Okay.
So that's telling us that sleep has an important effect in people who have high amyloid beta.
Well, that's great. So how can then, knowing that deep sleep is a positive impact, as a physician, what are some ways that we can impact better sleep?
Well, as what people say is, sleeping at the regular time every night.
So having a routine.
Yeah, keeping a routine.
Okay.
Obviously, avoiding alcohol, avoiding stimulants like caffeine.
Okay.
Prior
to bed. Yeah.
They're saying now taking a warm shower before bed is not a bad idea. Sleeping in a cool room or a cool bed. These. We should probably do a little show on the effect of cold beds.
I would have never thought that, because
there's good evidence that cold beds, cold temperature makes you have a deeper sleep.
Okay.
Because it does regulate your circadian rhythms as well.
Wow.
So all of those things, exercise. No heavy exercise right before you go to bed.
Okay.
The food, don't eat right before you go to bed. All of those things have impact on the quality of sleep you'll have.
That's awesome. And do you know within the study if they monitored those subjects in their homes, or did they bring them to?
That's a good question. I haven't looked that up, and
okay,
but that probably was done in a clinic.
Yeah, I mean, I did a sleep study once, thinking that they'd find something, and they didn't. And I thought I was I was having issues with sleep, but they didn't see anything crazy. Because what would interrupt sleep then? That's the only thing is that I would be asking is, try not to do anything that's going to interrupt your sleep, I guess. Right?
Yeah, there's some healthy lifestyle things we call sleep hygiene.
Okay. Oh, I didn't even know that.
We call it sleep hygiene. So basically, avoid screens.
Okay.
Avoid heavy lights. Avoid exercise. Avoid stimulants. Make sure you go to bed at the same time every night. Don't get into a fight with your significant other. Don't watch violence on TV.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get to bed angry.
All of those things are important, and so what this was really, the idea behind this is that deep sleep seems to be like what we call a cognitive reserve. Means that it's kind of like an extra little bit of strength, support given to your brain. So in people who have a risk factor. In this case, it was amyloid beta.
Right.
And that's a risk factor for Alzheimer's. In those types of people, deep sleep was helpful. In people who had no amyloid beta, deep sleep did not make a difference because they were already fine.
Got it. Okay.
So the idea
that was the relationship. It's like they actually performed better than those who didn't even have it, right?
Yeah. Sorry. Like the people who had deep sleep. Improved, but only if they had high amyloid beta.
Got it.
If they didn't have high amyloid beta, it didn't make a difference. So that's telling us that the deep sleep is beneficial, especially with brains that are vulnerable.
Got it. Okay.
It means if your brain is already having some issues, then deep sleep is really important.
Correct.
Whereas if you're like a young person or your brain is like got no issues, you're not going to see the major impact of deep sleep. Not that it is important.
Sure.
But you have other compensation. Your brain can handle it.
That's right.
Your brain can handle it. But when your brain is already having some issue, in this case amyloid beta, deep sleep has a restorative function. It has an important function that it's serving. And so we think, what are the mechanisms behind? Why would deep sleep have this?
Yeah, why? What is your deduction?
What they're saying is that in the study, this is not mine, but what they're saying is that there are a couple of potential mechanisms. One is that it could be making the synapses, more effective. Means how the cells communicate more effective if after a night of deep sleep.
Right.
It could be making the brain function better, and different areas of the brain function better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And thirdly, which I find particularly intriguing, is that it seems that during the deep sleep, there's kind of this. Kind of removal of toxins. That's not the word toxins, but this idea of there's something called
some repair.
Yeah,
there's some repair happening.
And so it's called the glymphatic system. Just like we have the lymphatic system in our body, there's a glymphatic system. So there's this fluid that's rotating and moving and probably getting rid of things like amyloid.
Sure.
So if the amyloid's not being removed during this deep sleep, it could be building up further. And so that's why it's showing up as a problem.
Yeah, and it's interesting that in 2023 they're discovering this now, right?
Well, I mean,
like,
I think
and we know sleep is important, but they literally
how they're putting this all together.
Yeah.
And so we're understanding the importance of a deep sleep. So I think that's why I thought this is a good study to bring forward to everyone, because there's something you can do. You can go ahead and start right now, making sure you get a good deep sleep. And how do you know if you're getting good deep sleep? That's a really good question.
Yeah, how do you know you're getting good deep sleep?
Yeah,
because when I close my eyes and I wake up, I'm like, did I sleep? Like, how do? It feels like
it's
know.
It's kind of hard. So I think, to be honest, I use an Oura ring. The Oura ring is right here, actually.
Yeah.
Here's one. Here's an Oura ring.
So how does this help?
So this Oura ring, basically, you wear it on your finger at nighttime, and it measures the different stages of sleep.
So will it actually tell you how long you were in REM?
It will tell you that.
That is
Quite
very
accurate.
cool.
I mean, as accurate as some of these can be. I mean,
sure.
But it seems
you don't want to put that on my finger.
Good.
It'll say not enough sleep. Probably.
For most people, they're not sleeping enough. But it's good to see how much you might be thinking you're sleeping great, but then you're not sleeping that great in deep sleep, and you're not having that much REM. So I think that's one of the ways you can do it. I think that there are a couple other devices out there, but the Oura Ring seems to be quite accurate, and I like the way it works.
Awesome. Well, we'll make sure to put the link to get this ring. Oh, look, it's even got these digital. Yeah, exactly. It's measured. Look at how big your finger is. I need a size. You got to size it.
You got to size it. There's a little sizer that comes
from
the company when you buy it. They'll mail you a little sizer, and then you'll check it out. But
awesome. All right, so we'll post a link to this our NREM sleep study, again by Zofia Savic, I think.
Yes.
Sorry for saying it incorrectly.
Yes.
This is the Battle to End Alzheimer's, and we're following Sanjeev's journey because if you look to episode 1, he's discovered he's got the 2 alleles.
I have 1 4 and 1 3.
Yeah, don't listen to me. Whatever you do, don't listen to me.
Still puts me at double the risk.
Yes.
And so this is obviously a very personal journey, and now I believe it is preventable.
Yeah.
By taking action now. So.
Absolutely. So hit the like button, subscribe, share it with anybody that would benefit from this video, and ask any other questions. And we'll see you next week.
All right, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.